Welcome back, everyone. Other Room Pod, episode 9, Mother's Day Special Edition. This is going to come out after Mother's Day. We're celebrating Mother's Day in this episode. This is going to be a Mother's Day themed episode overall. We've got a great Mother's Day game planned up that we'll get to in a little bit, as well as some other Mother's Day related content. We really just wanted to honor the holiday, us both being dads. We thought we could have quite a bit of fun with that. But first things first, Austin, catch me up, brother. How was your week?
Yeah, a little bit on that Mother's Day thing, though. Did you know that Mother's Day was started by a woman who was not a mother herself?
Really?
Yeah, not a mother herself. Not only that, she was like, this will be a day to recognize mothers, and you should give them a carnation to represent how much you love them. And then it became over commercialized, and she tried to rescind. She tried to end Mother's
Take it
Day
all back.
because it became overly commercialized. My wife
Wow.
was writing a Mother's Day speech, and she told me that. I said, that's pretty wild. Anyway,
It's like the Flappy Bird guy where he was like, I'm making too much money. Please, guys, we're taking the game down. Like, I have too much.
no, this woman wasn't making any money. Like, big companies were getting on the bandwagon to like buy stuff for your
Right.
mom, and she's like, this is lame.
Oh, interesting.
That Flappy Bird thing. That's so. You remember? He's getting like death threats. You remember that?
Dude, I remember the game that took over the world that
Oh, I
when
was
we
there.
would go, when we would take, especially us both being from Montana, we would go travel to other games to play basketball games against other teams that were hours and hours away. We would travel. I remember one of my friends having an iPad at the time with Flappy Bird, and everyone would just gather around this seat, and he's just, Bubba?
Blocked.
And we're
Blocked,
like, come on. Like, he was way better than all of us, and so we were just dialed in. Wow, what a game! And then the creator was I forget what he was getting death threats for because he was going to take
just
the game
like
down.
the game
Right?
the game was so hard that people were like saying like, how dare you make it? I can't remember what it was. Do you remember what your high score on Flappy Bird was?
No, I couldn't even tell you. I have no
Yeah,
idea.
I remember mine was in the 300s, but I couldn't tell you much more than that.
I probably could have said something like 105. You'd have been like, loser.
I mean, 105
I
when
have
a lot of
I have
people,
no idea.
well, like most of our generation, like a lot of them couldn't even get past like 20. You know what I mean? Like I think anything over like 50 is impressive.
I'm sure kids nowadays would play that and score like 4,000. Be like, what? This game sucks.
This game
Like,
is literally so easy. Yeah. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, weekly update. Nothing much going on over here. Just locking in, working. Had a pretty decent week at work. I'm trying to learn how to laser engrave headstones, and that has been
Oh.
a nightmare. Let me tell you. If your file's not edited just so, or this is out of whack, blah blah blah. There's a lot of things you got to get right, and I was expecting it to be a lot easier than it is. I guess the main thing is we're really trying to start selling monuments and like start our own kind of monument company ish and do a couple of monuments here and there. Mainly because the monument company that we go with is ridiculously expensive. They have gone from being like a flat 2x1 headstone in a light gray when I first started working was probably $700. Now I can't get it for anywhere under like $1,300.
Wow.
And we're taking less of a markup. We're making less money on the $1,300 stone than we were making on the $700 stone, which is crazy.
That's crazy. What the heck?
Yeah, it's just irritating. So we're trying to figure it out, and I'm just like, I'm at the end of my rope right now. I'm so frustrated with that, trying to figure it out. But we'll get it eventually there. Pretty uneventful week, which I guess I had a good Mother's Day. So for my wife, we did hamburgers with that fresh beef that we got from the butcher here last month, and she loved it. She had a really good day, and did some impressions for the kids, and my mom and my sister helped me out with that because they're the artistic ones. It was good. Yeah, good Mother's Day. Good.
And by
overall.
impressions, obviously you weren't running bits. You were
No,
doing
no,
like the clay thing you talked about. Right?
All right, Atticus, do Mario. No, it was
this is my
clay.
impression of Robin Williams. And everyone's like, what? Like,
Oh.
he just goes right into it.
This is Nelson Mandela. You're like, what?
Oh
What
my
is this guy? What does that even mean?
Yeah.
I would love to see a toddler do him in Nelson Mandela. What does that even mean? Anyway,
What does it
yeah,
look
so like little like clay imprints of like their fingers, and their hands. And I guess I realized my kids' hands are freaking huge, man. They're humongous. I'm gonna have some D1 basketball players in this household.
Hey, man, that would be the dream.
Yeah,
That
bring me up with you, please.
yeah, man. I went to a concert with my wife over the weekend. We went to Charlie Puth, who was just local. Is something we could go do together.
Beautiful
And
man.
brother, I haven't been to a concert in so long. I'm just getting too old. That
It
my
sucks.
ears,
Yeah.
dude, my ears were rocked. My watch that I was wearing multiple times was like, hey, really loud in here. You need to exit. Like, you need to leave the vicinity. And I'll tell you what, it was an incredible show. Like, truly, he did a great job. It was a ton of fun. Uh, Charlie Puth is just such a dad. He was like, my I think he said, I can't remember if it was his son or his daughter, but his kid, he's like, my kid's 7 weeks old yesterday. Happy to be out here with y'all, touring. I was like, jeez, like your wife just barely had a baby, and he's out here,
Yeah.
and he's got tie or shirt and tie on, baseball cap, like barely tucked in on the bottom. Like the guy just looked like a disheveled dad. Like he's just trying to get through it. It was funny,
I get it.
man. Yeah,
Yeah.
relating to Charlie Booth. We both though, we got some food from the event center where it was. My wife and I were suffering, bro. Afterwards, we both had the worst stomachs. This food poisoning, that type of thing that we got, rocked both of us. I was genuinely like down for a day. I was like, oh, every couple hours, my stomach was like, oh, I was chucking Pepto right from the bottle, bro. I was like,
Oh,
take
oh,
this pain from me. I didn't look at a single dose. I was just taking anything that I could. But yeah, dude, it was rough going through that at the concert. But otherwise, we had a really fun time, which was good. And that's really it, man. I really didn't do too much else this week. Just a lot of work. Not not
that's
really anything
fine,
else
man.
going on.
I'm to the point in my life where an uneventful week is a good week. You know,
Yeah.
it's, we'll take a win. A win's a win as long as nothing bad's happening. Bills are paid. Everyone's happy. What an
Oh, we,
excellent week.
another actually. We'll start off positive again. I had my last meeting with my surgeon, and I was cleared to return to all activities. So you guys are about to see more agile, more loose Tim. I might be in the pod more often
Hey,
as I return to form. But yeah, other
how
than
funny
that,
would it be if you made that movement and you like injured your knee again from that
you guys
movement?
audibly heard a pop, and I just I'm like, no, it just goes down. It's the other leg as well. I'm like, well, guys,
Could be.
yeah. But anyway,
That's
man,
hilarious. In honor of Mother's Day, I would, if you don't mind, I'd like to share a good fond memory that I have with my mom. Um, my mom, what a lady. Autumn, and she listens to the podcast. Thank you for all you've done. Appreciate you.
Mama
Uh,
Asper.
yeah, love you. Being a mom's not easy. She was a stay at home mom of 4 kids, and not only is being a mom not easy, we definitely did not make it easy on her. No, we were we were not good kids. I do have this memory that I do look back on fondly with my mom, and it was something that was kind of hard to do. For a while, my mom was running a paper route, and I can't, it was when I was younger. Um, I think I was still in elementary school, maybe beginning of middle school, uh, and she would take one of us every day. So go for me, then it would go to Sear, then it would go to
Oh,
my
cool.
brother Payson, and we'd go out and we'd deliver papers with her, and I remember getting up. It felt like at 3 in the morning, and we'd go pick up newspapers, and we have to put them in the bag. And this paper route wasn't one I could just throw them out of the car. You had to go and place the paper on the doorstep, walk all the way up, put them on the doorstep. I remember just being so tired, but afterwards she'd take us to gas station. She's like, "All right, go ahead and get some candy and
That's
a hot
already
chocolate."
electric. That's so
That's
good.
that shout out. And I just remember it was neat because even though we're both I remember and I was a kid, so I wasn't as tired as she was. I had infinite energy.
Right.
Uh, she was just so tired, and it's just that quiet time in the morning to spend with my mom consistently, and afterwards, going to the gas station getting like it was usually a hot chocolate. Every now and then it was we couldn't usually drink caffeine growing up because it was it'll put hair on your chest. Caffeine's bad, but sometimes I get like a caffeinated beverage. remember thinking like, "Oh, this is elite. I can't believe we're getting a caffeinated beverage." I do look back on those times very fondly. Those are probably some of my favorite memories I have with my mom.
Yeah, man. That's incredible. I think the one of the better memories I have with my mom as well in honor of Mother's Day is my junior year of high school, and no one would know this because I've never talked about this, but I the first degree that I had pursued in college was theater arts, which this is why I barely talk about this. This is why I barely talk about this because this guy hates me. But anyway, and I have an exercise science degree now, and I work in cardiology. This guy doesn't respect me anyway.
No, that's
But
fine. I think that's a wonderful degree. I think
your
we'll
reaction
just move
told a
on. We're moving
movie.
on.
It told a
We're
movie
moving.
on the silver screen. But anyway, I so I pursued theater arts, and so that year I had applied to go to Juilliard, and it was a big application. It took a long time, and I was given a chance to audition, and we had to fly to Chicago to do such things, and it was expensive. Like, it cost a lot of money, and remember my mom just saying, "Let's do it. Like, if this is what you wanna do and this is what you're passionate about, we're just gonna do it." And she bought the plane tickets, and we flew out and did the audition, like, in this big hotel, and it was just me and her together. We're the only 2 that went, and where we stayed, I just remember we went to this restaurant, this Italian restaurant. I couldn't tell you the name of it. I've talked to someone about it before, and it's like,
Ristorante Italiano.
no. It's like this place that's like in Chicago. One of my coworkers is from there. I should ask them. But the Super Bowl happened to be playing that same exact weekend, and the old Italian owner came out and put like this 24-inch TV out on the bar, and he put the Super Bowl
Just
on like this antenna TV, and he came and put it on. The guy didn't speak English. He came on and he's like, and a Super Bowl. Put it on in like this nicer Italian restaurant as we're sitting down eating. I mean, like a chicken parm, but I'm watching the Super Bowl on the bar, and
the Italian equivalent of chicken fingers, essentially. Yes,
absolutely. And my mom got like
but it hits.
A Chicago style pizza. It was the first time I'd ever had that, that deep dish style pizza. I literally, and it's definitely nostalgia. I was like, not only is this the best food I've ever eaten, this is the best time I've ever had watching the Super Bowl, which I also love, while I'm here with my mom. And it was just an incredible experience. And, I ended up, of course, not going to Juilliard. By the way, the audition went very well, and there was an opportunity for me to go to the school. I just didn't get a scholarship to attend. And they were like, it's $80,000 a year. And I was like, right, for out of state kids, because it's in New York. But I was like, yeah, that's just not happening for sure.
That's
But
unobtainable. Yeah, like imagine you
yeah,
go and you take out loans. You do 4 years there. It's a lot of money. Man. Was that
dude, it's a
300?
ton.
That's
And
four.
obviously, if you go, the expectation I guess, of yourself is like, well, I went to Juilliard and now I'm gonna be like a huge actor and make millions of dollars or whatever. Would be the thoughts. But yeah, dude, and this is such a random side tangent, but while we were there was this guy and he was reading like these old texts like while he was there. And it was an interesting experience because everyone there had applied to the school many times. Me and this other girl were the only 2 people there who were under the age of like 24. Like everyone else was
Really?
like had applied many times to get into because of its prestige, right? Everyone's heard of the Juilliard School of Arts, and me and
Right.
this one, at least that in our pod that we were in, me and this other girl were both 17, and then everyone else was quite a bit older. And this guy, and he was this black guy who had this incredible singing voice. You could hear him just warming up in the corner. You're like, how is that guy not in this school? Like, what legends are in this school if he's there? And I remember him reading this ancient text, and he closed it, and he was like, I just pray everyone has the most incredible audition experience. And we're like, is this a plant? Like, who is this guy? And then you could hear him singing. We were 5 or 6 rooms down from the audition room. You could hear
Sure.
this guy singing all the way down the hall. I mean, you would have thought he was a direct descendant of Mozart himself. This guy was incredible. And he ended up making it into the school. He was like their first choice. And I was like, gosh, what happened all these other years to this guy? Like, I just don't understand. But yeah, what an
What are we
interesting
talking about?
experience. It was cool.
That-
It was nuts.
That's a cool experience. Yeah, awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's yeah, the time you get to spend alone with your mom, it really is the word be. I guess it's unique. It's a neat experience for a boy to spend time with his mom alone.
Yeah, my
It's
mom
pretty.
as well for when we were kids was a stay-at-home mom for quite a few years, and now she's been holding down the post office for better part of a decade. I would think
Yeah,
now. And
yeah.
if you want the gossip in town, my mom's the lady to go to. That post office, everyone's got to come get their mail. My mom knows what's going down.
Oh yeah.
She's definitely the person. And my mom, you knowing this, is the biggest chatterbox. She'll talk to anybody all day long.
Oh yeah.
And so she's great. I love my mom a lot. So anyway, brother, let's get into this game.
All
I
right.
am very ready and prepared. And go ahead and preface, but this game was made for us, and then I want you to just
Yes.
explain the game a little bit more, especially for our audio only listeners.
So we go in here. This was made by my sister. We had asked her if she could put together some questions, if she could ask both of our mothers some questions uh, about us specifically that we could answer here on the podcast in honor of Mother's Day. And she put this one together, and there's some rules here, and we'll read those for you here. Let me just pull this up.
And for our
All right.
audio only listeners, this is one of the benefits of YouTube is you get to come on and you can see we're sharing right now the actual presentation, and you'll be able to see the questions put up. But we'll do our best to describe kind of everything going on. But Austin, yeah, tell us about these rules, man.
All right. So this game is called the Mother Load, and the rules are as follows.
Why did I not know that?
Is how to play. We ask both of your moms a series of questions about you guys. Your job is simple. Figure out who said what. Here's the twist. Some questions have completely different answers. There are 2 questions that have the same answer from both moms. So if you catch it beforehand, you get 2 points. I guess we're keeping score. Do you want to write that down?
No, but continue.
We'll just go back retroactively when we're editing, and we'll throw up some numbers at the
We'll
very
put some
end there.
point scores up. Okay.
There we go. A few questions have multiple answers because we also asked your wives.
No. Why?
For those, you'll need to guess who said each answer. I did not know that our wives were in on this. Here we go.
Wow, my wife has said
okay.
nothing. Also, do you not feel like we're about to play a Kahoot right now?
It
I've got the
feels-
same feeling as in
Yeah.
college when you go into class and they're like, get their phones ready, and you're like, Kahoot!
Question was, if your son got arrested, which crime did you assume he committed? All right, the two answers are
Ooh.
road rage, got a little too serious, or breaking and entering. I think I can definitively tell you which one my mom said. I think
Really?
my mom. Yeah, I think
I've
my
got
mom
it.
said road rage.
For you, I'm leaning that way as well. I think you're road rage. For my mom to say that I would be convicted of breaking and entering, what, what is this, Mom? What have I ever broken into anything?
Now,
Not only
this could be the false one. This could be maybe both of our moms say that road rage got too serious.
I'm gonna share a story about me that is why I'd be the worst at breaking and entering.
Okay.
I have asthma. I've had asthma the entirety of my life. When we used to play Heads Up 7 Up in school, I never wanted to go up because everyone would close their eyes and put their head down, and they'd be like, Tim, it was Tim. I could hear it breathing. So I would have to. I breathe loud. It's something I'm working on. I'm trying my best. But I would hold my breath and like walk around the room with my breath held as long as I could. And I would slowly reach for someone's thumb, and then I would get up to the front and you'd hear, oh gosh. That's a terrible memory. And Mom, if you said this, you're rude. Because breaking and entering I never would do. But I do think she did say that.
Oh, brother. You know what really got me upset? Speaking of road rage, this is just rage, is when people would cheat at Heads Up 7-Up. Oh my gosh, I'd get furious.
You're a bad human being.
I had one guy, he had his thumb up like this, and this was in the 2nd or 3rd grade, and I remember this because I have so much hatred in my soul about it. Yeah. And then I put his thumb down, and he went like this. He like rubbed his eyes and looked around, saw me, and then put his head back down. I'm like, you cheating bastard! And so I went and I tried to pull his thumb back up, and then my school teacher's like, no, you can't do that. I was like, but he cheated. And she's like, what? And come to find out in my later years, speaking of my mom actually said, yeah, that teacher actually kind of like had a vendetta against you. She just really did not like you, and you're constantly getting in trouble for things you shouldn't have because she just didn't like you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Second grade fury going on. My
Yeah,
gosh.
and she was like in her 60s when I was, so she's probably deceased by now. But yeah, goodness gracious. Anyway, I digress.
Let's see.
I'm locking in. My mom said road rage.
I agree. I think you're road rage, and I think my mom said, I guess, that I'm breaking and entering.
All right, yeah, okay. So we did. Your mom said breaking and entering. She said
My mom thinks I'm a vandal. What's going on? What is
yeah, no,
okay, fine.
yeah. Road rage. I do at times if people are not driving, especially if people are going to make a maneuver that could potentially kill me and my children. I get furious. I get very upset.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm a pretty conservative driver, which is why I was leaning you for sure that way.
Okay. Okay. All right. Other room pod listeners, we
By
don't.
the way, if I know your mom's the second one here, that's about me.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Autumn,
So
I thought we were chill. What happened?
So, all right, other room pod listeners, we don't swear on this podcast, but I'm going to have to read a verbatim word here. Skip ahead 10 seconds if you're feeling. So, what is your son's most annoying habit? First answer is he knows everything. Second answer is talking to that damn friend. And that is what my mom said is the second answer there.
So, we're 2 questions in, and the running theme is Tim sucks. And that's where we're leaning.
We're on episode 9. If you didn't know that by now, you're not listening very closely.
Right. Well, let's. I'm giving your mom a call after this. This is this is diabolical. I think I'm nice and sweet. I don't understand.
and here's the thing. I'm sure Elise took some creative liberties when she made this, and she added that word. Like,
Yeah.
granted, we do talk on the phone a lot, and yeah, my family's like, well, you're always talking to the phone, Tim. Like, I just like talking to Tim.
These guys.
Which is why we started the podcast, so we could talk freely.
Golly. Now we're being judged for our friendship. This is diabolical. They're jealous. They've never had a friendship such as ours. It's fine.
Yeah.
And I know my mom said that top one. It's because I wear a lot of hats. I am interested in so many things, and I'm always bringing up random stuff. Or my mom will try to tell me about something. I'll be like, I already knew about it. Let me tell you more about it. And she's like, no, never mind. You've ruined the surprise. So yeah, that's got to be me.
All right, let's see. Yep,
Yeah.
there we go. We got it right again. 2 for 2. Here
My
we go.
goodness.
All right. Here we go. This is a wife one. What's one thing your husband has taught your son that you hate? These are easy. These are really easy. I know what
I'm the
what
top
this is.
one, regardless.
I'm the bottom one, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So
pointing and shaming. Explain yourself.
Okay.
You've
right,
taught Atticus to say shame.
Yes.
Shame.
Yes. Listen. Okay. Listen to this. So, for our audio only listeners, the question again is, what's one thing your husband has taught your son that you hate? Option 1 is to scream and chase people around. Option 2 is pointing and shaming people. Yes, the pointing and shaming people is me. Elise, my sister, the one who made this PowerPoint here, said a swear word in front of my children, and I was like, Auntie E, for shame. And I was like, Atticus, help me shame Auntie E. I go, shame. And Atticus is like, same, because he can't say his SH right. Same. And so it's the running bit. Whenever somebody does something stupid, instead of booing someone, I'll say, Atticus, help me. Shame. And then he just points to whoever. He's like, shame. It's the funniest.
That's actually kind of electric, but
it's
I
hilarious.
can see when he starts school, if some kid messes up and you just hear from the back, shame, shame.
No, brother,
shame.
Bring it back. Like someone's bullying another kid, and you're just like, shame on you.
I guess that would be great. Yeah, if you did that.
Yeah.
My son and I made a game, which unfortunately has caused him to scream in general, but I would like purposely walk away from him, and then I would turn around, and then he would chase me, and I would scream like I'm being chased, like, ah! and I'll run, and he'll chase me, and he thinks it's wonderful and fun. But
Oh
now
yeah.
sometimes you'll just see him walking, and he'll just randomly be like, ah, and like run at people. It's something we need to fix. It's something we need to fix. It's entirely my fault. But let me tell you, he's very quick, and it's because we've been playing chase forever.
I'm sure.
He's
Yeah,
a
I'm
speedy
sure. Like,
individual.
anyways,
Okay. Anyway.
so definitively, yeah, we don't even have to see the answer. Clearly, we got it right. All right. How many fires has your son started? Okay.
Okay. Hold on here. The fact that one of these answers isn't 0 is beyond me. I've never started a fire other than in Boy Scouts when I learned to make L fire. But
Yeah. So I've started 2 very serious fires in my
You-
lifetime. Yes. Yeah. So listen.
the fact that I don't know that is crazy.
Well, it's because I look back on it. So you know the ground bloom flowers, like the little fireworks that you light them and they spin. They go.
Oh,
and
yeah,
they
yeah, yeah,
turn.
yeah.
Yeah. So if you take those and you let them burn in your hand a little bit, and you throw them, they actually will hover in midair and like go straight out. I took one and I threw it really high in the air, like super high in the air. And we lived in Coeur d'Alene where there were huge, like 100, 200-foot pine trees. It was a dry season. And it landed in a tree and started a fire to the point where like it was probably like 40 feet up, well out of range of a hose or fire hydrant, or not fire hydrant, a hose or a fire extinguisher rather. I was very, very, very scared. I went inside. I was freaking. I was
Oh
like, "Oh,
my
guys, this is
God.
so bad. This is so bad." My mom's like, "What? What happened?" I was like, "We started a fire." I was like crying, and I think it was like had to have been probably 12 or 13 years old, and yeah, it was pretty serious. I felt really bad.
Well, what's the other fire you said? You said you've done 2.
Yeah. So the other fire was what was that one? I know there was a second one. I think it was at a campfire. I was like, this one was I was playing with rubbing alcohol and throwing it into the fire. It was a poor decision. My frontal cortex did not develop up until like 3 weeks ago. Please, I need you to give me privacy in this matter.
Well, and I have to be the lower one, but the only fire that I can even remember, and it's like I started a fire. It was also firework related. You know those stupid fireworks that are like chickens and then all the sparks come out the back of them?
Yeah.
I remember standing behind one and my sock caught on fire because I was unaware. I was young and I was like, what's this do? Ah! Yes, like it's shooting the sparks at me and my sock caught on fire. But otherwise, I do not know of another fire that I've started, truly.
Now we can say a technical 3 because I thought I started. So listen, before this, I'm gonna vent. This is as close as I'll get to therapy here. 4th of July is my favorite holiday. After living in a foreign country for almost 2 years, I come back and I worship the United States. I love the people here. I love the country. I love the United States being here. There was a point where I'd spend like $300-400 on fireworks every year, and I'd go crazy on fireworks. I love fireworks. There was a point where our neighbors were shooting bottle rockets into the field in front of my house, and they started a fire, and I thought I had started the fire. And the fire was roaring. Like the fire department had to come out. It was a very, very serious fire.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was a very, very serious fire. And I was like I felt weak. There's like a knot in my stomach. I felt horrible. Turns out it wasn't even my fault, but I'm so turned off from fireworks now because I thought it might have been me that I just felt sick. I felt sick. So I still, to this day, I think Atticus was no, he wasn't even born. This is probably 3-ish years ago. 3-4 years ago, and since then I have not purchased a single firework. Maybe I'll do it again this year, but now it's more about the food. Like I'll do a really good barbecue and stuff. But I felt so horrible that I might have started that fire, and I thought it was going to consume my neighbor's house. But it really wasn't even my fault. It was our neighbors down the way.
Brother,
They were
you've got
shooting bottle rockets.
Arsonist's background. My gosh.
Yeah. So
Wow.
all right. So we'll say
let's do
I'm the
this.
2. You're the 1. Both moms said 1. So congrats on only committing a little arson. Except Tim's mom said
1, I think. Brother, you just listed 3 potential fires. I guess your mom just didn't know. Yeah, my mom's saying 1, I think. Mom, I've never started a fire. What are you? But this is the kid that my mom's saying breaking and entering. She's lost in the woods. Anyway,
Moving on. What is something your son thinks he's great at, but honestly he's not?
brother. Okay, listen to this.
Driving and tornado facts?
I'm 100% driving. I'll tell you why. When I was learning to drive, my confidence was a little shaken. I wasn't like a kid that was like 11 or 12 and your parents like let you drive up front and whatnot.
Right.
And I really struggled to turn right. Like
Left was fine.
Left, I'm there. Right, I really struggled. Like the curb, I was slapping curbs. I was just getting too close. Like I really, really struggled. So what I would do is I would overcorrect and I would like really widely turn out, but I was like a risk to hit other cars. I was not a good initial driver, and my mom I think remembers this well and thinks I'm a terrible driver still to this day. Which, by the way, my mom's from California. My mom drives like a psychopath. My mom drives insane.
I've seen it.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
all of my friends are like, my mom was like, hey, when we were kids, she's like, I'll drive, and they're like, ooh, like, okay, is there another adult that could potentially take us? Because my mom's aggressive as a driver. So, I'm imagining she's saying that for me. Now, I want to say something. Do you have a history with tornado facts, or do you think you're also potentially driving?
No, I'm definitely not driving. I feel like I'm a very safe and secure driver, and I have to drive because I get car sick if I don't drive, and so I've had to learn to get really good, and my parents don't have problems with me driving. Yeah. So tornado facts. This. So one time, I was trying to get my family to believe, like, hey, there are more tornadoes in Montana than there are in Tornado Alley. We just don't see them because there's just nobody in Montana. I think they think that I was being serious. And now,
you were just gaslighting them. I was going to say, this sounds really gaslighting.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And I was like, no, it's totally true. It's totally true. Now, here's how this is going to go. My mom's going to listen to this podcast. She's probably going to call me and be like, you totally didn't know. You totally thought there were more. That's how it's going to go. I'm telling you. If you see on social media, like, Austin Asper doesn't know anything about tornadoes because he's an idiot, it's propaganda. It's fine.
Well, let's see. Maybe your mom thinks you're just fine with facts. No,
yeah, we got that one there.
We've been cooking this as well.
We've been cooking this other than the one fire thing. All right. What animal?
This is rude.
What animal would defeat your husband in a fight? Fist fighting, no guns. All right. So moths. That's you.
This is rude. This is rude.
You could not beat a moth.
For our audio, no. Shut up. I'm reading the answers. Which animal would defeat your husband in a fight? For fist fighting, no guns. Dog, gorilla, kangaroo, moths, butterflies, and spiders. I want to say something.
Sure.
I've talked previously about how I don't like insects. Now, can I defeat them? Yes.
No.
Am I afraid of them?
I've seen you. I one time held my fist like this, and said, "Brother, I have a moth in my hand." And you were so horrified.
So
you
I don't
ran.
take risks.
I opened my hands to show you it was
smart
empty.
Guy,
brother, you would flee. You would be crippled with fear. You could not defeat a moth.
I'm afraid. Yeah, that's fine.
You would be
by
crippled.
The way, I've killed many moths. I stay away from butterflies. And I've killed many spiders in my day. I've bested them. Now, this does say fist fighting
from a distance.
I'm not touching them with my hands. There's no way. I've told you before. My dad one time, because he was fed up with me being afraid of moths, took a moth out of the air and then took my hand and he put it in my hand and he made me hold a moth, and I was sobbing uncontrollably. And then he said, crush it in your hands, and I said, no, don't do this, no. And he stood there until he said, crush it in your hands, kill it. And I crushed it in my hands, and it was so disgusting feeling. And he said, look, you're more powerful than the moth. I cried for hours. I cried for hours and hours and hours because of what he did to me. And it made nothing better. I still hate them.
I just can't believe you said that in a public forum that we're going to publish what you just said. You just sound weak right now. Your
No,
dad really.
it's
Your
fine
dad.
to not like moths. I know I'm one of the few. It's
fine.
fine.
Yeah, your dad really said, "Do it, kill him."
My dad turned into a Sith Lord and then said, "You're going to." It was also. I want you to know this was, and people are going to think I'm exaggerating. It was the biggest moth you've ever seen, and he said he just. My dad just took it.
No,
It,
wasn't.
it was going to be Mothra if allowed to live before I crushed it. He took it and put it into my hand and literally stare. My dad is a very intimidating individual. You can verify such things. And he
Yes.
stared me and said, "You are not leaving this area until I see you crush that in your hand." It was truly one of the more traumatizing experiences I've ever had in the entirety of my life.
Do you know what this is?
I'm not even. I'm gonna investigate. You couldn't beat a gorilla, not a chance.
No, neither of us could beat a gorilla. But here's the thing. I think we have 4 answers. I think we have both our wives and both of our mothers to guess. So this is going to be tough. I'm going to say my mom.
I think dog for you.
You think dog for me? Okay, I think my wife said kangaroo because that is some wacky ass answer that my wife would say. Again, I could say that because she doesn't watch the podcast. I could say whatever I want.
Yeah. So, do you think you could defeat a kangaroo? Kangaroos are a problem.
So I didn't think so, but have you seen the video of like the kangaroo that's like giving some beef with somebody?
How
He
big
like comes
they
up
are
and
up top. They're
sure.
huge. And also, I believe if a kangaroo kicks you in the chest, it's a one-shot kill. It's got to be.
You just got to get around the kangaroo. You got to get behind him. You got to be fine. Yeah,
Can't
you'll be fine.
Can't they hop at like 30 miles an hour?
Brother, I'm not running from the kangaroo. I'm fighting it.
Right, but you said you have to get behind it. What if he just literally hops in front of you again?
Brother, have you seen the video of the Australian guy just punching a kangaroo in the face? And the kangaroo's like,
yeah, but he had his dog in a headlock, and so he was distracted. I think if just mano a mano, you versus kangaroo, and they have like claws on their hands. Now a dog, I've seen many people defeat dogs. Like many, and you're a large individual. I think you could fight a dog. Are you taking some battle scars? Surely, but
it depends too. If it's like a Tibetan Mastiff, I don't know, man. Those things are vicious.
Okay, yeah, like an Irish Wolfhound rolls up on you, and you're like,
I would break a Chihuahua for the principle of the matter.
Yeah, of course, of course.
It's like shaking all around. I'm like,
yeah. So you do think your wife said kangaroo? You're leaning that.
I believe that my wife said kangaroo, and then I think my mom probably said
this just
dog
says
or gorilla.
This just says your husband, so this must just be our wives.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to say my wife said kangaroo then.
All right, let's see.
Yeah. Okay, so it was mom's as well. So my mom said gorilla, and my wife said dog, specifically named Toby. I guess I can't beat Toby the dog. And then Tim's wife, yes, said my
instinct was kangaroo. Wow, my wife thinks highly of me that I can rock a kangaroo. Let's go. But then in reality, it would be a moth. Wow.
And then Tim's mom said any insect, but especially ... Probably a moth. I reckon.
We know where that was leading to. That is wow. I'm glad my mom and wife were in lockstep there, but that's unfortunate. That's interesting that your wife specifically thought you could defeat your own dog, and then your mom thought you could beat a gorilla. Is your mom insane?
No. What animal would defeat your husband in a fight?
Oh, defeat. Oh,
yeah.
Your wife doesn't think you could beat Toby?
That's what I'm saying. I could pick Toby up. And here's the thing: I would never, though. I don't know. Maybe the game she's playing is like Austin feels too much love in his heart for his dog, so he couldn't.
Maybe
that's the angle she's taking it.
It's like I think you're definitely defeating Toby.
Let's say a dog gorilla, identical to Toby that's not
Autumn,
Toby. Yeah.
Let me just let you in on a little secret. No one's beating a gorilla one-on-one.
You be nice to my mom.
I love your mom. Well, I've lost a little love after what she said about me earlier, but no, but that's tough. Anyway, it's funny that am I a problem that people think that I would be defeated by small insects? Potentially.
Yeah. That's you got to get over that. Like maybe take a couple of Xanax and then go into a room with spiders or something.
A couple Xanax, but anyway,
brother, two Xanax and a Valium.
Oh my gosh!
All right, next question. What is a lie your son told you as a teenager that you knew was a lie, but let slide anyway? There's all right, we didn't let anything slide, or lying about where he was going. All right. My mom could be either one of these.
I think I'm the bottom one.
Okay, we didn't let anything slide. That just means I'm really, really good about all the things I got away with as a kid. I'm a really good liar. Is that concerning? That's probably pretty concerning. So are
It's
we locking in? Your mom said lying about where he was
I'm
going?
I'm like really leaning that I'm the bottom one. I just I I'm trying to think of something. What would my mom say? I don't think my mom was like a we didn't let anything slide type of thing. I just think that she was of the opinion that I would go somewhere and then maybe I wasn't telling the truth, but I was usually. There was times I was like, I'm going to my friend's house. I mean, I would go to my friend's house. We would just go somewhere else afterwards, but I think I'm the latter one.
Okay, let's check. Yep,
Yeah.
and we got it right. Yep. Didn't let anything slide. Okay, whatever you say.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely was so perfect. All right. Which fast food place best represents your son?
You know what's
Well,
so
option one
tough?
is Taco Bell. Option two is Golden Corral. Brother, all right, brother. I know that your mom has told me the story of you and Golden Corral.
What?
That
What
that
story?
just that you hate it.
No, this is Mom, I love you. I'm going to say this with the utmost love. My mom always wants to go to a buffet, and the one buffet in Great Falls was always Golden Corral. We used to go all the time, and
There was a
this
Golden
is
Corral in Great Falls.
brother, the Golden Corral is in Great Falls. The most golden of all the corrals. It's humongous.
There's no way it's still there because I would have
It
eaten there by now.
brother, it must be. But uh that I don't think that represents me unless she's saying that I'm just gluttonous and that I'm like a buffet. But I my mom loves Golden Corral, and so I think that she put that for me. But she also knows I love Taco Bell. I know your mom knows that you love Taco Bell. So there
Yeah.
is a chance that both of us are Taco Bell, but I do think I'm going to say Golden Corral is what my mom said about me.
All right, let me tell you a little story about Taco Bell here. So before I moved from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho to Shelby, Montana, uh, the grilled stuffed nacho had just hit Taco Bell for the first time. I knew that we were shout out, bring it back, please, Taco Bell, please, please,
Please.
please.
That guy's still exercising. He wants it so bad.
Oh, he actually stopped exercising. He just does political content now. Did you know that?
What a shift. But
Yeah,
anyway.
his name is still Kiro Stuffed Nacho, but he just talks about. He's like, the Republicans. I'm like, what are we talking about, dude?
Wow, that's too bad. What a loss of a page.
No, truly, go check it out. It's kind of a crazy shift. Anyway, I had a job at Subway, and I was making a little bit above minimum wage, like 30 cents above minimum wage. I did not spend a dime of my own money at any point ever. I was the tightest of tight when it came to saving
Wow.
my paychecks when I was working at that age. I think one time I spent $50 on Battlefield 4. Other than that, I did not buy anything for myself. Before we left, in 1 month, I had spent in the realm of $400 at Taco Bell. My parents were like,
Wow.
"What are you doing?" Because they kept track of my finances. I'm like, "Listen, you are taking me to the middle of nowhere. You are taking away from my friends. I love Taco Bell. The nearest Taco Bell will be an hour and a half away from where we live. I'm going to spend some money at Taco Bell." And my parents were like, "You know what? Honestly, like you haven't spent any money on anything else. That's valid. That's totally fine." And mind you, when the grilled sub nacho first came out, it was $1.29. I would eat 3 of those every day. It was
Yeah, that.
insane. Bring them back.
Oh, please, yeah. And something we need to bring back is the Taco Bell pricing from when we were kids as well. My gosh.
Please. The
My
89-cent
word.
5-layer burrito. Oh my gosh. Bring it
They
back.
took it out. Well, they just adjusted the $5 bundle, made everyone upset. What are we doing?
Well, okay, granted, but now, now I get the bean burrito instead. The bean burrito's elite, dude. I love that bean burrito.
yeah, I guess. But all right,
Yeah.
let's see what the answer to this one was.
All right, I think I'm Taco Bell, so.
I agree.
Austin's mom is the easiest question for her to answer. Tim's mom, lots of variety. Never know what you're going to get.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
I do like a lot of places. I guess that's why she said Golden Corral because it's like a buffet style place. So because I just like going out like
Because you're
to
big and
which
burly like a buffet.
wow.
Husky.
Continue.
Have to.
Stop. What are you doing?
All right, this is another wife question. What is your husband's most lovable flaw? Uh, First answer is loud. Second answer is secondhand cringe.
Is there any more obvious question on earth?
This is. I'm just gonna skip past this one because we know mine is. Molly said secondhand cringe. Cameron said loud. That's easy.
Yeah, I think I'm the loudest person that most people know. He
Yeah, Tim's
dominates
wife
most.
says he dominates
Yeah.
most conversations. Yeah,
It's me, the center of attention. But anyway.
yeah. So talking about secondhand cringe, I can watch a movie, and if somebody does something embarrassing in a movie, there are times where I have to pause and take a moment for myself because I need to sort my emotions out. The secondhand cringe I experience is so bad. There's this one time where we were on a cruise and there were some people dancing up on tables, and my wife tried to get on the table to start dancing, and I was like, like this is the worst thing that could possibly happen to me. What a horrible husband am I? You know, just let her live her life. Let her do her thing. She loves to dance. Let her dance at the table. That's
so
wonderful.
other people doing something that you think is a little out of the normal really affects you.
Really bothers me, as if I'm doing it myself and I'm doing it poorly. I might as well have been up
Ugh.
there like in my mind. I was up there naked doing the Macarena. That's how I
Just
feel.
your version of a striptease up there. Yeah, that's terrible.
I mean, nobody said striptease, but okay,
You said naked. Anyway,
that's fine. Doing the Macarena, that was full frontal. I'm not like taking off pieces of clothing all seductively. You know what I mean? Jeez, man.
She's an aggressive stripper. Anyway,
All right. If aliens landed tomorrow, what would your son do first? Answer 1 is run. Answer 2 is study it. I don't know. Maybe both moms said study.
I don't know. I think my mom said I would run, and here's the thing. I just don't I'm just not a big risk guy. Like in terms of like things that are unsafe, I'm like I see something silly and I'm like, why would we go over there? That doesn't seem fun. Even like, when you're like a little kid and like there's like a sign that says like no trespass. Your friends are like, let's check it out. I'm like, did we not read the sign, guys?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What's going
Hey,
on? Like I'm
what if
just
there's a
not
minefield back there?
yeah, I'm just not a big risk guy. Or like my friends would be like, sounds a little dangerous. Maybe we should do it. I'm like, did I just hear the word dangerous? What are we doing? Like, no, that's just silly. So I think I think my mom said run. Do you think yours said study it? I think she might have.
Yeah, I think so. Well, let's check it
Okay.
out. Let's see what they said.
Yeah.
So we got those right. Yeah, easy.
Yeah.
This game
We're
is
dialed.
too easy.
We're dialed. Yeah.
Easy. What is your son's most dramatic trait? Intense speaker and loud.
Ooh.
So I think I might be intense speaker. I think.
I also speak kind of intense, but I do think loud is just kind of a theme for me. I'm just my voice just projects. It just does. Like people all the time will tell me like, Tim, you just do not know how to whisper. And I'll be like, what? I'm whispering right now. They'll be like, okay, big guy.
I'm whispering.
I'm very passionate and I think it just always comes out in my voice. Like I just have a very, very loud voice and personality. So I bet you're right. I think you're intense. I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't think that you're an intense speaker though. But maybe that's just because my baseline volume is just already very high.
Brother, I don't feel like you've heard me speak very intensely. You have. Like when we get into topics that I'm passionate about, I do get intense. Also, I'm going to say this: the word intense gives it away. The word intense is a word that my mother uses with frequency. Liberally, yeah, that's pretty intense. Yeah, so
that's an autumn classic. There you go.
Yeah, easy game, easy
peasy.
If we had used a word other than intense, I might have been thrown for a loop. But the word intense was a giveaway.
There we go.
What's your son's most useless skill?
Wow.
This is an easy one. So we have Smite Gamer and we have Dungeon Master. Obviously, I'm the Dungeon Master.
I don't think someone could come and show me the amount of hours that I put into the game Smite and be like, do you know what else you could have been doing with your life other than doing this? And I'm like, I was having a great time. Like, but
Mhm.
it is a concerning amount of hours. And then, yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, Dungeons and Dragons, that's clock it. We're good. We're good on
And
that one.
brother, I'd be willing to bet you and I combined have probably over 10,000 hours of Smite.
A scary amount of time. Here's the
Over.
thing that I want everyone to know. It is like truly like highest highs, like and lowest lows sometimes as well when we're really frustrated and struggling. But also people don't realize like where like our geographic like location in Montana, it's not easy to like get together all the time, like especially in the
Right.
winter time and whatnot. And then I went to school in Utah. Austin went to school in,
Also Utah, but a different part of Utah.
northern Utah, and then back to Montana. And then I stayed afterwards, and so like that is a way that we can get together and do something is like playing video games. And let's say with a lot of my friends from Montana, is just a way for us to kind of connect. I don't think it's useless. I think that's actually a fun thing to do with your friends. But I mean, it is
Yeah,
what it is.
I thought it was fun. Yeah. Salt Lake Community College. Shout out Bruins.
Yeah,
Anyways, so yeah, that'll be very clear. Yep, we got those right.
I'm
Easy.
shocked my mom knows the name Smite. I can't believe that.
I'm sure Finley influenced her on that one.
Yeah, shout out
Surely.
Finnegan.
Yeah. All right. Would your son ever forget their son at a grocery store? All right, hang on. Time out now. So we have one answer is yes and one answer is no.
Austin!
All right. One answer is yes, one answer is no. I'm leaning that both of our moms said no. I hope both of our moms said no. There will be hell to pay if I get this and they did not both say no.
Can I say something? I think your mom said yes and my mom said no.
Oh,
Bro, I'm going to say something controversial yet brave. I think that's the truth. I think that's the answer. Do you think
I would never forget my son. Like literally, like after watching what's that movie, The Sound of Freedom? Like in public, like if I'm looking away, my hand is literally on Atticus's shirt. Like I will be grabbing him. I do not walk more than like 5 paces away from the cart at any time.
Yeah, this is tough because I would love to believe that our moms believe in us. I would love for that to be the case.
The bar is low.
Now.
It's low.
Is that the case? This is hard to say. What are you leaning? Like, do you have a beat on this either way?
I think both of our moms said no, and I'll tell you that because the way I am in public with my children, I am very like I must be watching them at all times. And I know your mom has said, yeah, Tim's the total helicopter parent, so your mom would not say yes
Yeah.
about you. I'm leaning both of our moms said no.
No, truly, if my son is out of my, and he's never out of my sight, but even doing something I don't like, I run over and I'm like, we don't do these things. No, no, boy. Like I definitely, whoa, hey, no, but okay, yeah. So maybe it is both. No, let's see let's see the
Let's
answer.
check it
I'm
out.
a little nervous.
Both moms said no.
Oh!
There we go. Thank goodness.
Oh, we were.
Thank goodness.
Let me wipe the sweat off my brow. My gosh.
Good.
I was
Both moms
just
said no.
preparing for one of our moms to be like, let me tell you why. And then it's just like a story about why they thought so.
And then we got a side note here. It says, congrats on being good dads. Very good. Very nice. How
Yeah,
nice.
Look, that was a level up in terms of a question, but thank goodness there was a good resolution.
Oh, but I want to talk to you. The fact that for a second you thought that anyone would say yes about me, you're on my list, buddy.
No,
You're on thin ice.
I just thought your son's quite a bit older and more active, and she was thinking like he would like run in a store because my son is like in like shopping.
No,
carts
hang on.
Still,
but the question is, would they ever forget their son at the grocery store? Yes, he could get away.
Yeah,
forget my son?
You wouldn't
No.
forget. I was coming at like lose my son at a grocery store is kind of how I was thinking of it. So that's true. Yeah, you would. Neither one of us would forget. We're both people that have like a mental checklist that we go through.
Yes,
and so we kind of do that. So I guess that's true. That would have pushed me more towards no. But now this one. There's a conversation to be had.
So, all right. So let me read this for the viewers. What was your first impression of your husband? Option 1 is theater kid, and option 2 is he was confident. I can tell you. I can tell you. I can tell you what Molly said. Confident.
Here's the thing. I
defend yourself.
I have the most confidence out of anybody you'll ever meet. Truly. I am the most confident person ever. Now, unfortunately, I have a background in theater. So that is where I'm leading, like, my wife. But my wife has said to me before that her impression of me was that I was very confident. Especially, I was like an ambassador for our university, and we would do like recruiting and tours. I was and I'm going to sound like I'm very much tooting my own horn here, just by like numbers. I was the goat at that position, and was very like confident. Like, give me the hardest people you can find, like people that don't even want to come to school here. I can convince them that this is a great place to be. And so I have a lot of confidence, but unfortunately, even all of that being said, I think my wife said theater kid. She just likes to take jabs. That's just what she does.
So that's what it is. And here's the thing, my wife, she's getting better, but she would never make fun of me, even if it would be the funniest thing in the world. I'm like, baby, you should say this about at my expense because it'd be hilarious. Like, well, I don't hurt your feelings. Like, I'm literally the one telling you to say it because it'd be so funny. So she would never take a jab at me like that. Call me a theater kid. That's a low blow. That's a low blow.
That's me. That's me all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So clearly, yeah. My wife said that I'm confident, and Tim's wife said that he's a theater kid. Theater boy. Ha ha. All right. Here's another 4. Go ahead. Go you. Here's the thing. Go ahead. Say your piece. Say your piece.
No. I think that showed more about your character than mine. Anyway, we're gonna get.
Okay. if Tim and Austin got stranded on a deserted island, who would survive the longest?
What is this? What is this?
So there are 4 answers, and 3 of them say Austin.
Yeah. Get ready for this defense. Okay.
Okay.
Well, go ahead. Say your piece. Okay, I'm gonna. No. Shut up. I'm reading the answers. Okay, if Tim and Austin got stranded on a desert island, who would survive the longest? Austin, Tim, Austin. That is not. I did not misspeak. That is what they said. I have beef with it. Say what you have to say first, and then I'm gonna go off.
Okay. Here's.
I hope my microphone doesn't melt from the heat coming off.
Okay.
Of me.
All right. So here's the thing. We just have to guess who said Tim because everybody else said Austin. I think your wife said me. I think I think my mom might have said Tim. Maybe.
Really?
Yeah. Would it be even funny if it was just 4 Austins? That'd be so
yeah, everyone's like, we just put Tim on there so it didn't feel bad. It actually, everyone said Austin.
So
here's the thing.
So let's think about this logically. You have asthma. You're allergic to everything. You're horrified of any insect.
I'm allergic to one thing in life. One, just tree nuts.
Oxygen?
That's
you can't breathe.
Allergic. Brother, one, I'm a medical provider. I know all sorts of life-saving things. You don't.
Brother,
2,
you can't make it this easy.
I'm not 6'5". You need way more energy. You need way more energy. You're dying
brother,
faster.
I can just reach up and grab the coconuts off the palm trees, dude. You're climbing up and you're falling off and immediately becoming deceased because you can't
I'm more
climb
athletic
a tree.
than you are. I can get up a tree.
Okay, says the guy who's just in a cast for literally 6 months because he tore his knee from playing a game, basketball.
I also played on that for hours on a torn leg and then taught exercise classes the whole week on a torn meniscus before I had surgery.
Great. That's just really embarrassing that you do all that and you're still less athletic than me.
This is such rage bait. I was multi-sport athlete in high school, and then I played basketball at the collegiate level. Like, this is nightmarish. Okay. I also want to say, you're taller, you need more energy. You also, in my opinion, I think you'd just get fed up faster than I would. Like, you'd be like, you know what? Like is this worth it? I just think you'd be like, what are we doing? Like, if there was, let me pitch you a scenario. If we're on 2 different islands. You're on an island by yourself.
Real quick, hang on. Did you ever get your Eagle Scout?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're equally matched in that.
We're equally matched. We we both faked a bunch of merit badges at that scout camp.
Yes. yeah, I got
But
dentistry merit badge. Why not?
life sciences, okay, but
Whatever that means.
yeah, they took us out to a forest for 2 hours and said, "You guys know what you're talking about." But yeah, so
Guys
I
pointed at a tree. He's like, "What is that?" I'm like, "Is that a black cottonwood tree?" He's like, "Welcome to the Brotherhood. Here's your environmental
give me that
science."
hand, brother. But so if we're on two separate, and I know this situation since we're both there together, if we're on two separate islands, I just genuinely think you'd just give up quicker than I would. I think
I
that's the
did-
case.
I just think that's categorically false. There's just no way.
Really. Also, if
Yeah.
I'm on an island, the sea air it's doing it for me. I'd be way better off.
Correct. Yeah. No, you would have a slight advantage over being at elevation. That's correct. I am peak male physique. I
You're not. No, it's not true.
Definitely. I really just like any sort of allergen enters you at any point. Yeah, you're just gonna die because you have no albuterol. You're just gonna die. You're just done.
I'm fine. I'll make it out.
Okay. So we just got to figure out who said Tim. I think my wife, to be nice, because your mom, I'm
My wife
95%.
100% didn't say me.
Yeah.
It doesn't
So,
believe in me.
this was saying your mom and your wife both said me. I'm telling you right
100%.
now.
Not even a question.
Yeah, and now I think my mom might have said Tim. I think it's my mom who said Tim.
Okay.
That's my guess.
You'd know better than I would, so we're leaning there.
Austin's wife said Austin. Yeah. All right.
My
So
mom
we'll
said
say
me. Mom. I love my mom. No. This is incredible.
Wait, hang on. Unless there's bugs. All right, we're going to read the answer.
Inhaler, so he isn't lasting long. I'm fine. Austin's wife, Molly. Come on. Austin is an Eagle Scout. She didn't know that I was one as well. I wonder if that would have swayed her. She had no idea that I was also one. Tim would be overcome by the bugs. I'm just going to stay on the beach. I'm going to make myself a nice little defense port. I'm going to make myself a nice shelter. I'm going to hunt. I'll be fine.
Brother, but you also hate water.
No. I go in the ocean. I go in pools. I go in lakes. I just prefer not to swim or prefer not to go to the water.
Oh, the conversation you said, okay.
On a desert island situation where I have to, obviously. And I think you and I both know, like, first things you need to do. You need to go find fresh water. You need to get a shelter. Boom. Those are your two one things.
We both took survival merit badge. We both know what the thing is.
We're both there.
You're preaching to the choir here.
That's our two things. That's what I'm saying. That's why it gives credence to both of us. Like, we both would do the proper things to start, and then it's just the long game. And I just wonder, but also I just don't want to be trapped on a desert island. Please don't give me that burden. My gosh.
Jeez. I guess
anyway.
Would the answer change if the terrain changed? Let's say we're like, you ever see the movie or the show Alone?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so like they take these guys out to like Labrador, which is like in northern Canada, and it's just like freezing cold and it's raining. It's in the mountains. It's in the forest. It's really maybe it's not in the mountains, but it's in the forest or along this river and stuff. I wonder if that would change who would survive the longest, as opposed to like a deserted island.
Yeah, I don't know. But
anyway
I got mocked by you in this question here.
And Austin's wife said, Austin, Tim would eat his inhaler, so he isn't lasting long.
This is what I'm saying. Molly, what are we saying? She thinks I'm also decrepit.
Brother, you're talking to someone who's not there. She doesn't listen to the podcast.
It's fine. No, it's fine. It's fine.
Next question. What's the funniest thing you saw your son do as a parent? We got to take a guess. What's the funniest thing? I feel like this is bait to get us to say something that we shouldn't.
So, the funniest thing. There's going to be, my mom's going to say something related to athletics. My parents used to tell me that before I was like a sophomore in high school, that they had hope. They had very little hope that I would become athletic. So I wonder if it's going to be like something to do with that. Funniest thing you saw. I was in a lot of plays too. There could be something akin to that.
I was in a couple of plays as well.
Yeah,
but maybe
shout out Missoula Children's Theater. Anything else you can think of comes to your head? Just take a wild guess. I'm leaning that something to do with either like we saw him do one of the silliest things ever in a football or basketball game, and it was terrible. And
Either
or
either that or something that I did, for example, when I was a toddler, I had at one point grabbed the Halloween candy and stolen it from my parents. And my parents were doing stuff. And they were looking around like, hey, where's Austin? They walked into my room and they saw me with the Halloween candy. It was like hunched over like Smeagol. And I
just
have
a goblin.
and they said that they saw me and they were coming to take the candy, and my eyes widened and greed overtook me, and I was like shoving candy in as fast as I could because I knew they were going to take the candy away. That might be
Bro,
it.
You had an issue.
I was like, ah! Like freaking
That's
chipmunk style.
so funny.
Like,
Well, let's see.
maybe.
I want to see what they say. I'm very curious.
All right, let's have you read these ones here. When Austin taught Atticus to point at people and say "shame, shame," that's the funniest thing. My son. No, that you've seen your son do as a parent.
Oh, frick! I
I-
didn't read. I keep barely reading the questions. That's my fault. Oh, as a parent,
It's my dyslexia. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's my inability to pay attention. Yeah, I did tell my grandma. I did not think she was holding my son very well, and I said, "Grandma."
For our audio listeners, when Tim told his grandma, in parentheses, who has 8 children and 75 grandchildren, end parenthesis, how to hold a baby. He told his grandma how to hold a baby. That's insane.
I was like, Grandma. I said, not gonna lie, I just don't think you know what you're doing. Like, you're not supporting his head. Like, can we improve? Like, this was me, new dad. I was very defensive. Yeah, which my grandma was like, shut up. Like, it's like my grandma takes nothing. Like, my grandma's so cold. Yeah,
I can't believe the unmitigated gall for you to say that. That is kind of crazy.
Goes back to my confidence. I'll say anything. I don't care.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna make sure to read these questions in full from now on. What's the weirdest phase your son ever went through? All right, we have.
His second answer is absurd.
It says he was the same size as his younger sibling and neckbeard.
I must
brother.
be neckbeard.
It has to be. You have to be neckbeard.
Yeah.
Sierra, my younger sister, who's 18 months younger than I am, at one point was the same size, and then at one point a little taller than I was. She would actually use that against me. Yeah, so we actually would fight a lot, and she'd do this illegal move, and it pissed me off. She was much taller than me. I'd go in and we'd be like wrestling, like I'd be trying to hit her and stuff, and she'd grab my legs, she'd grab my ankles, and because she was so much taller than me, she'd take my ankles and spread them apart and then kick me in the dick. Over and over and over. And I was like, stop. And I couldn't stop her because she was just so much taller than me. She had the reach advantage.
Brother, was Sierra on human growth hormone? Why did she have you spread up like that? That's crazy.
Another story about my sister, which is crazy because right now she's going through it with 2 kids, and she's a lot more, she's much more meek than she was in her childhood. She's very kind. And I guess Sierra's always been pretty kind, just not to me. She was horrible to me. And I was horrible to her.
She's great.
It is what it is. You fight with your siblings. Like, my dad's like, hey, what would you do if I was like a stranger trying to abduct you? Mind you, my dad is like, at the time was like probably 250-ish. He's about my current size. He's about 250. I'm about 250 now. And 6'6". And he tried to grab her, and Sierra beat the shiz out of my dad. Like, obviously he wasn't trying to fight her, but like she was like throwing elbows and like biting him, and he's like screaming. He's like, ah! Like, he was. They were like rolling around. Games. No, she did. She's freaking street. She's a psychopath. And I don't think she listens to the podcast, so I could probably say that too. So
yeah,
I just realized I don't really have much familial support in this thing.
Well, I mean, neck period, beard period as the response for me is pretty ridiculous. Which,
yeah, you did have that phase. Yeah, I remember that one. There are pictures. There are pictures out there.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, Austin. He said Austin on multiple occasions wore his sister's jeans to high school. Very nice. Very nice.
What? But what size was your waist? You were snatched.
Oh, brother. I'm in high school. I think it was a 28-32.
Yeah, that's where I was late. You must have been smaller. Yeah. In high school specifically. Yeah,
I was tiny. Yeah. Anyway. All right. There's a husband one. What's the funniest thing your husband has panicked over? All right. I can tell you right off. So answer one is having to put on chapstick or lotion. And then the next one is he didn't study for a test because he procrastinated and then blamed me. Well, okay.
That's me.
We didn't,
That's me. That's me.
Cameron, we
That's me.
didn't have to add that second part in there. Yeah, no.
That's me. That's me.
I think a strong case could be made for me having autistic tendencies because the second lotion or chapstick touches any part of my body, I lose my effing mind. Like today,
Really?
my wife's like, "Hey, here's the baby. Go get him dressed and put lotion on him." I'm like, "I'd rather die. No, thank you. I will not put lotion on my child. If you want to, will. I can hold him for you. You can put lotion on him, and then I'll get him dressed. The feeling
I
of
say it's a
lotion.
texture thing.
Oh, it kills me. Oh, it's just the worst. Like thinking about it makes my
Wow.
skin crawl.
I didn't even know that. That's interesting. That's crazy. Yeah, that second one's for sure me. I'm a terrible procrastinator when it comes to exams. I just believe in myself to too
I'm
high of
just
a
pure of
degree.
heart.
Yeah, I'm just chivalrous. But no, it was for an exam that I needed for my job, and I just read the textbook cover to cover the day before, and then went and took the test. But I had done no studying, and my wife was like, "You need to set a test date." And I was like, "I'll get around to it. Like it'll be fine." And then I eventually set one, and I was like, "Well, shoot, the day's tomorrow." And then so I just read the whole textbook. But she says blamed me. I want to say it was because she was trying to get me to do other things. I was like, I really need to be reading this textbook and get this done. And she was like, no, like it's your fault. Like you need to do this. I was like, listen, it is 100% my fault. However, because I put myself in this situation, I need to be left alone so I could read this textbook. And so, yeah, I was probably a little bit upset. I also was probably a little stressed because I was like, I have 400 pages to read in 6, 7 hours. And then, by the way, I passed the test, but,
Sure,
yeah,
sure.
that's me. This is easy.
Yeah, sure. Okay. And yeah, don't even. Clearly, we got those right. Easy peasy. All right. What's a moment where you realized, yeah, that is definitely my child? All right. So the answers are marrying his wife, and the next one is he hates injustice. Uh, yeah, the mine is the injustice one. I hate it. I can't do it. Like, if there's something that is out of somebody's control that they are suffering because of, due to rather, it throws me into a nearly inconsolable rage. Um, why should somebody have to suffer for something they cannot control? I think that is
Yeah.
the worst thing that could possibly happen to a person. I will hear a story about things that have happened, like, hey, so and so happened to such and such, and blah blah blah, and I will like start pacing. I will like grind my teeth. So that one has to be me. That's my mom as well.
Yeah, I don't know why my mom said, "Yeah, this is definitely my child," and then said marrying his wife. I really don't know why she said that specifically, but that just sounds like something my mom would say. I don't even know what. Like, I'm a little confused by that answer, but yeah, I agree.
Let's
You have a very strong sense of justice. Maybe she gave a little bit more context to the answer. Let's see.
yeah, that's what I was going to see. So let's see. Tim's mom said best decision.
Again, why does that prove that I'm her child? That I made a good decision? I don't understand.
One singular
Yeah,
decision.
I've also only ever made one good decision.
That's the only one.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
That, like I said, a little confused by that, but that's fine.
All right. What is the most embarrassing thing your son did in public?
Oh
Take a
gosh.
wild guess. Your wives also answered this, so guess that too.
No, no, no. Do you have an answer?
I listen. I'm not going to answer this because I'm probably going to say something and then it won't be the answer, and then I will have two pieces of embarrassing information out there. I'm
I'm
playing the long game here.
I can't think of like the most embarrassing thing that I've done. But I would love to see the answer. So let's just pull them up and then we'll discuss.
All right, we'll start here. Austin's mom said Austin honked at an old lady as we were waiting for a train to pass by, and she walked out of her and then the old lady got out of her car. Yeah, knocked on the window. All right, I'm going to talk about this in my defense. So she was going to turn. She did not have a blinker on. She was just sitting there, and so I'm here, and the train is passing parallel to us. She did not have her left blinker or her right blinker on, indicating that she was waiting for the train. But even then, you pull out, get in line, and then get on the road that is perpendicular to the train track. When the train track passes, you pass. She didn't have any kind of blinker on, and so I honked at her, and it wasn't like a brrr, it was like a boop, just like, hey, just make a decision. She got out. She's like, "We're waiting for the train. What do you expect me to do?" And I was like, "Go." She's like, "No, you just go around." I'm like, "Well, I can't really go around because I'm gonna be passing on the left here." And it wasn't in a very busy place. So I guess I could have done that. I was like, "What are we talking about, lady? Like, just be considerate. Go around. You're fine. Don't be sitting up taking this lane with no blinker on. Whatever."
Yeah,
So I guess that's the most embarrassing thing, that, which is fine.
I
Whatever.
see. That's not too bad. I wonder. Did you have something else that you might have said that you thought that thought would have been the answer to this?
uh, moving on.
And my mom said, I'll read my prompt here. My mom said, during a basketball tournament in high school, he overslept and was late to school. He couldn't play he couldn't play in the game. It was announced on the news that he had been benched for disciplinary reasons. So I want to say this, brother, I want to say this. When I was a senior, our high school basketball team was incredible. We were very, very good. And in our district tournament, we had played a game the night before. We crushed that team. And we were in the semifinals. My phone died. We got home 1 a.m., so like really late. My phone had died, and I was rocked. I played a great game. I went to bed, and then I woke up. My my dad and my mom's. This is what my mom's gonna say. Mom's gonna say, "I came and talked to you in the morning. We had a conversation." You talked to Shadow Tim apparently because I don't remember that. She's like, you said you were saying sentences to me. Cap. No, never believe my mom when she says that. She to this day still says the same thing. That's false. My dad came in, and my dad I've never seen in the mornings. So he's usually at work. And my dad came in and said, "Hey Tim, so I got a call from the school. Are you supposed to be at school?" It's like on a weekday. I was like, "Dad, what time is it?" And he was like, "Oh, it's like 9:30. What's going on?" And I was like, "Dad, did you know I was here?" Like he's like, "No, I just came to check because the school called me." My dad just had no idea what was going on. And they called our home phone, which had they called my mom, this whole thing would have been fine had they just called my mom, who was at work.
Right. Right.
So I'm no shower. I throw some dress clothes on because you had to be dressed to play in the game, and I run to school. Retroactively, I found out my basketball coach was driving 110 miles an hour on the 9-mile road, trying to get there to prevent me from going to school. Because if I showed up and I just said I was at a doctor's appointment, I would have been fine. That's not what I was thinking. I was thinking I need to go profusely apologize about this situation. So I go to our secretary, who is my next door neighbor, my dog, and I was like, "Val, I'm late. Like, I didn't even know." By the way, I also want to say the period that I missed, this was on a block day schedule for school. I missed a study hall. I missed a study hall.
Oh,
I missed a study
man.
hall. I go, they said, "You're going to need to call the superintendent and see what his thoughts are." I call him. His name was also Tim. I was thinking we had a brotherhood, we're both Tims. I call him and he's like, "We're going to have to weigh this decision. Give me a little bit of time to think." He comes to me later in the day. He's like, "So we're going to suspend you from the game for being late to school." And I said, "Gosh." Then they put out on the local news that I was being disciplined. I was being held out of game because I was being disciplined for like whatever actions that I had taken. And then they just left it at that. So everybody thought I had done something
Sounds like you're like
criminal.
out drinking
Yeah,
or
dude,
something. Yeah.
everyone must have thought I was this juvenile problem. So people were coming up to me at the game. Additionally, a news reporter from the local news came up to me to the game and was like, "So it was announced you were being held out for disciplinary actions. Any comments?" And I was like, "Guys, like, no, I missed first period. Like, I didn't do anything wrong." The other coach came over. He was like, "Did you get injured? Like, doing something? Were you in a fight?" And I was like, "No, guys, I missed 70 minutes of a study hall. I did nothing wrong." And
That's crazy.
yeah, it became this huge situation that was silly. And we did end up winning the game. I did play barely, by the way. We were getting rocked in that game for a little bit, which it was a team we crushed beforehand. But anyway, yeah, this it was embarrassing, but it was a situation that was I still to this day am very frustrated about because basketball is my greatest passion. I love it more than anything, and I was banned from playing for missing a study hall, which was our,
That's pretty foolish. Like, yeah,
yeah.
okay, so he missed.
I should have egged our superintendent's house after that. But anyway,
We
that's
still
another thing.
can, brother. Get a
We
flight up.
probably
Let's go.
should. Yeah, no. Yeah,
All right,
again,
and here.
that was something. That was crazy. But anyway, uh our moms, our wives, thank you for putting that together. That was a bunch of fun.
Chill.
Brother, I've prepared a question from socials this week. Again, y'all, thank you for the responses. Thank you for the answers for this question. The prompt was, in honor of Mother's Day, what's the worst punishment your mom gave you growing up? Got a lot of these here that we'll go through, and I'd love to see your reaction to quite a few of them. There's some outlandish ones that I have maybe a little context on some other ones, but here we go. So the first one, and now I've never had this done to me. This had a ton of response. Like this was a common theme, kneeling on uncooked rice.
Oh, listen, my parents never did this to me. I have read about this happening to other people, and I was like, come on, how bad could it hurt? Threw some down on a on just by the hardwood floor. Knelt on it, brother. It's excruciating. It's insane. And I imagine the
Yeah.
longer you wait, I think the punishment is you do this for like 30, 45 minutes. It's insanely painful.
And I'm not really sure what you'd have to do, like, mistake wise to qualify for that to happen to you, but hey man, I not something I've experienced, but like I said, that had a bunch of replies. So people were like, oh yeah, kneeling on uncooked rice was the worst thing. And I was like, geez Louise. But anyway, this next one here, and I do have more context if you have questions. But him and his brother, this individual mentioned, had to go and sweep the rocks on the street in front of their house and just sweep them for hours.
So sweep them to somewhere, sweep them into a dustpan, and
Off
just
like
push them, and then push them back, and then push them back again, or
they just, yeah, we're just essentially just sweeping the road, is what he told me. He said that when he tells the story to people, it's like as if you were being asked to go and vacuum your grass. Like they would just go and just sweep out on the road in front of their house.
oh, okay. So I have something similar that happened to me when I was in third grade. I was playing tag with this girl, and she went down one of those fireman poles, and I tried to tag her with my foot. I kicked her in the face, and she bled from her nose. I was pretty serious. I got suspended because of this. Uh, so but as my punishment for getting suspended, there's a place in North Idaho, right close to where I lived in Coeur d'Alene, called Silverwood, and we had got season passes. My parents were like, "Well, your
Love
season
Silverwood.
pass, yeah, your season pass is revoked." So I couldn't go to see. Like there were several times, and they ended up getting me one later in the season because they felt bad that I was missing out on all the family time and stuff. But so that was revoked for a long time. And they're like, "All right, here's a shovel, here's a wheelbarrow. Just start digging. Move this dirt hither," and then I moved it hither, and then I said, "Okay, what now?" They said, "Now you must move it thither," and I moved it immediately back to where it was. I had to
Just
just back and
rinse
forth.
and repeat.
Yeah, rinse and repeat for the 3 days I was suspended, and then it went into a weekend. It went through the weekend as well. Um,
Jeez Louise.
yeah, it was, not great. Not
Yeah,
great.
that's terrible. And gosh, physical punishments always feel the worst
Yeah.
when you know that there's like you're not in control of the ending. Like if it's like something like, okay, you need to stack 100 bottles. Once you're done with 100 bottles, you're done. When they're like, you're gonna do this, and you're like, oh, until when? And they're like, who knows? And you're like, what? Like, and then you're just suffering. That always is just terrible. But let me get to this next one here. All right, this guy was out past his curfew. When he got home, there was a pillow and blanket waiting for him on the porch with a note. It said sleep outside. And so he slept in his car all night.
Was it, like, cold outside? Was it winter time? Was it summertime? Or did you know? Or
Not sure, not extra context on this one,
okay.
but he was just out in his car
Okay.
sleeping.
So here's the thing. Here's why I think it's a bad punishment. If I'm out with my friends, or if I'm out doing nefarious things with friends and I come home after curfew, like, I just sleep outside, I'm just calling my friends and I'm just going back out with my friends.
Boys, bring the party bus back around.
Yeah, genuinely. Like, hey, we
Yeah.
don't like you hanging out with this girl late. I'm like, oh, well, I'm just gonna, and if it's cold outside, I'm probably gonna try to sleep at her house because I don't want to sleep
Let me
outside.
make a counterpoint here, though. Okay, it just landed on me what you just said.
Yeah,
Le-
Joe, genuinely, if you want me to sleep outside, it's freezing cold. I'm not gonna sleep in my car. I'm gonna go find somewhere to sleep.
yeah.
And if I know that, whatever.
The counterpoint I would make is there greater joy that you can experience than, especially as a kid, you're out playing with your friends late at night, night games, whatever it is, you're doing a bunch of stuff, then coming back to your warm bed and just, especially in this like summertime, you're in school,
Yeah.
just peak snooze hours. Oh, that being taken from you is pretty sad. That is rough.
It's devastating. Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
especially where we
That was
grew
always
up.
fun.
You better pray this isn't wintertime where we grew up. That's a death sentence.
Quite literally, you could have your car on all night and you still would pass away because it's like negative 40 degrees. After
Freezing
wind chill,
cold.
there are times in the wintertime where up where we live where it's like today's temperature negative 40. with wind chill, feels like -90. I'm like, what does that
Yeah,
mean? Like, what does that even
yeah,
mean?
dude, it's terrible. Like they couldn't do that to you. All right, next one here. Um, this one, so the mother would get in their vehicle, and the child who was punished would have to continuously run around the block while their mom chased them with their car. They had to run fast enough to not be hit by this car. How long you were chased was equivalent to the severity of what you'd done.
You smoked a cigarette? That's 8 miles. Get running. What are we talking about?
the First of all, these kids must be Olympic sprinters at this time. But
Yeah.
my word, the fear that would put into your chest of hearing that engine getting closer behind you. Oh my gosh!
Or it's like,
If you're 4 laps in and you're like starting to get tired, and you just hear like a ooh, and you're like ah, that would scare you.
or your mom drives like a Prius and it's like silent and it just hits you and you're like,
Oh yeah,
"Ugh."
it couldn't be it could be a quiet car. There's no an electric vehicle behind you. You just get
No.
bumper tapped, and you're like, oh no.
Ugh.
Yeah, that would be that or the opposite. They're driving like a diesel big truck. Oh gosh, that would be horrifying. My
It wouldn't be
gosh.
like a bump, it would be like a and then
Yeah, it would
you'd
be
be
the end
deceased.
of
You'd
my
be done.
life, is what it would
Yeah.
be.
You'd be done.
That's
That's insane parenting, by the way. At what point do you think like okay,
how bad are these
I've
kids? That's
like
my first question.
I have heard of people like driving next to their kids and making them run like that.
Right.
Okay. And you know what? Is that a good punishment? I don't know. I'm trying to figure things out myself. The other day, Atticus did something really bad. He pushed his little brother off the bed, and the best punishment I could come up with was, "Hey, you're going to sit on the front porch while I do your favorite thing, which is ride the four-wheeler around, and you're just going to have to watch me do it and know that you can't because you push your." That's the best I could come up with. I don't know. I'm trying to figure this crap out.
Yeah,
I can't do this.
it really is hard to, especially like the difference generation to generation punishment wise. Like if this is 1950s, it's like grab the beaten stick, like like it's just different eras. So we're all trying to figure it out as we go. But yeah, that one's tough though. I've also heard akin to what you said. People like their parents like tie a rope around them, and then you're running behind the car, and you have to keep up with
Yeah.
the speed of the car. Like I've heard
Yeah.
that as well. But this one's crazy. Like your
Hitting your
parent might
children.
just run you
Boom.
over. Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's just nuts.
That's
Um,
scary. Wow.
all right, this next one. So they prank called their friend's house at 2 a.m. and they did the classic star 69 trick, and thinking that they would think it was an anonymous caller. Unfortunately, that just didn't work. And the friend's dad picked up the call at 2 a.m. and said hello, and then said like their name. Like, is this person calling? And they hung up. The dad told the other person's parents the next day, and then for hours and hours, this person was on their knees cleaning every baseboard in their home.
Honestly, dude, if some punk kids called me at 2 o'clock in the morning and woke me up, especially if it were to be like right now when I'm taking care of helping Molly take care of a baby, and granted she does 99% of that, but yeah, I'm still up at night and stuff. And on top of that, if somebody dies, I'm going out to do that in the middle of the night. Bring home, I'm tired. Someone wakes up at 2 o'clock in the morning because they want to prank call me. I'm furious. I'm furious. I'm furious. Honestly,
Yeah.
I think you got off easy with just having to clean the baseboards.
Cleaning baseboards sucks though. Hands and knees doing
It
that.
does.
Depending on the size of your house too, that might be just. I mean, they said hours and hours. Like that's terrible.
Yeah, that does
So,
suck. But,
but
it could
yeah,
have been worse.
I guess truly
Yeah.
could have been worse. Could have been worse.
We could have been driving around the block and hitting you with my car.
um, so this next one here, grounded for 1 year, and their phone was taken away. They were not allowed to make new friends or go on any dates because their parents did not want them to contact new people during that year.
What? So, so you could not hang out with friends, could
I
not
know this
make
person
new
very
friends.
well. The person who said this, I know
Do
very
they
well.
do they have a good relationship with their parents? Probably not.
I don't want to speak on such things. However, I remember them being in the thick of this. They were gone for a year, and like truly just couldn't contact anyone, and they weren't like. And this was this was aggressive. They were not allowed to make new friends, and I knew them previously. The person was like, no, you're not going to go meet new people. And then it was like, what's the point anyway? Because how are you supposed to add their contact? You don't have a phone. Like they didn't have a phone. They truly did not. I know this. It actually lasted a full year. and they eventually got their phone back. I remember the text they sent out when they received their phone. It was like, "Bro, I forgot that you could do this." Like, when they eventually texted me again, I was like, "Oh my gosh, like, you got your phone back." But it was a full year of them not having this ability.
Well, did they say what they did to get that grounding, or?
Yeah. It was, they snuck out multiple times after they were supposed to be in bed.
Oh, yeah, like, I again, we are both young fathers, we do not have teenagers, we do not know what it's like, perhaps things will be different when we get there. From right now, with my inexperienced, eye on this, like, that seems like such a horrible idea, especially with
So
when
aggressive.
at the age how old was this person? 15, 16,
Well,
17 years old?
they were 16.
So you're like, that's one of the times in your life you have no cares in the world. All you should be doing is hanging out with friends. And you've taken that
Yeah.
away. That is irrevocable. You cannot give that back.
Yeah.
That's too much. That's too
I
harsh.
Yeah, and like I said, I do know this person quite well. I remember this in and this person does, I don't think watches the podcast. In my opinion, I think this led them to have a little bit of resent for their parents, and I'm not going to speak for them, but it was just such a severe punishment that
Yeah.
I remember all of us being told by this person who we could only see in person. We were like, You're joking. Like, that's crazy." And it's like, "No," like, and then they doubled down and like literally did it for the full year. It was nuts.
That I cannot imagine. I'm trying to think of like something that my kids would do that would warrant such a punishment. Maybe like the only thing I can think of is if they were hanging out with people that were truly leading them on a path of self-destruction. And that's it, and that's the only thing that I could do is then maybe. But
What
even
if
then,
they
like, you
were
still gotta go out with friends, you
What if
still
they were
gotta do
like
fun
day
things.
drinking tequila and like going to school drunk, just like repeatedly? Like, they were just getting
I just don't see how
hosed daily.
I just don't see how taking your access to your friends and your
Yeah.
social life away, how that's gonna make anything better. If they're day drinking, there's not much you're gonna be able to do to stop them. Like, if
Well,
if
I
they
just think
if
you
a kid
should
wants to do
support them
something.
as well. Figure out
Yeah,
what's going on. What made you turn to this? Why is this happening? Please stop driving while you're drunk. Like, that's like, you need to like, and it's try to take away. Who knows what the situation is at that point, but like, that it just seems a little extreme. I do think, like, I think I've been grounded for maybe like a week at a time, maybe most of like
yeah,
not being able. But it was like, okay, your friends can come to our house, but you can't go to your friend's house. And I was like, all right, like it was,
yeah.
which just sucks. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I've been grounded for grades and stuff, like, I think upwards of 3 weeks. I think the longest I was ever grounded was maybe 5 weeks, for some pretty
That's
egregious
still,
grades
yeah,
stuff.
pretty long.
And they're like, "Listen, you can have your stuff back when your grades get back up." So there was an end in sight. I'm like, "Listen, I just gotta do this,
Which
that."
also, they're giving you a full path to get your stuff. Like, if you
That's what I'm
had
saying. Yeah,
all D's or whatever, and then it was like, if you just had B's or A's, we would give you your stuff. That
yeah,
is your fault. Like,
yeah.
it's literally your fault. So, yeah, I
And
don't know.
and that was the threshold. It was, if as long as you don't have any C's, like, and a B is, like, such a ridiculously easy milestone to meet. Like, perhaps not for some people, but, like, in the public schools of Montana, and we're not ranked very high at
Hey,
all.
speak for yourself. Sunburst was elite.
Sunburst was elite. Shelby was not. I'm
Oh, no,
saying
no, no, no,
Montana
no.
as a whole.
Yeah.
Montana as a
Shelby.
whole.
I remember people talking about Shelby like, that's where the vigilantes live. There's a lot of craziness going on in this Shelby High School.
Yeah,
But
that I take it away a year of your teenager's life. That is like begging them to put you in a nursing home in your 60s.
yeah, Charlie. Yeah.
Truly,
Uh,
that's something that
let's
you would resent your parents for the rest of their life. Anyway, sorry, I digress.
Speaking of which, we'll go to this next one here. Um, their parents did not speak a word to them for one full week. Additionally, they were not able to leave the home.
That is like psychological. That's like solitary confinement is what that is.
Genuinely.
But honestly, it's worse because like there's like I have, could you please talk to me? And they don't talk to you still. That's crazy.
This
How do
person
you
was
live with somebody?
15, by the way. This is when this happened to this person. This person was
How do you
15.
a 15-year-old? How do you live with
Yeah.
somebody and not talk to them for like not even to say, "Hey, please pass the salt." Not even to say, "Hey, make sure you do your chores." A whole week. made it a point to not talk to their own child?
I think I would get to the dinner table at night and I would just break down crying. Like I would make like a big scene. Like it would be like day 3 of like just no one saying it. In this scenario, let's imagine you're an only child and like you're just at home and your parents are there. They're just not talking to you. I think I would just cry at dinner. Like you would just hear me
Yeah.
just profusely cry while I'm eating whatever I was prepared. You know, like that is so rough.
Yeah.
Just silent treatment. It's just too aggressive. That's too much.
Yeah, and that has to be an only child situation because, like, for me, if my parents decided they didn't want to talk to me for a week, I can still talk to my siblings. Like, this isn't that big of a deal. Like, I still have someone to interact with. That's fine.
I do think it would just make you feel awful too. Like it would make you feel
Oh, yeah.
so bad if your parents just like literally. And this person said they said no words to them. They didn't say a single word to them for a full week.
Mm, that's
It's
tough.
just that's craziness. This next one's pretty short and sweet. They took my door.
Oh, yeah, that's a pretty common punishment. Yeah. Is it warranted?
Yeah.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Like, here's the thing. For me, it's like, hey, no girls in your room ever. Like, you just can't be in your room with a girl. Okay. If you're in a room with a girl, keep the door open. Okay. You know what? That whatever, your house, your rules. I get that now. At the time, I was like, you guys are ruining my life. But like, if you are told, hey, do not have someone of the opposite sex in your room, and then you do, and then you close the door and you lock the door, like, okay, we're gonna take your door now. Is that right?
Yeah.
No, maybe. I don't know. Again, I, I don't have it figured out.
I I never once brought any girls home. That's not something that I ever did. But I remember
Yeah,
at
you don't say.
anyway, it's, I remember that my door was taken off because we were chronically staying up late, my brother and I playing games, and like on like our like DS or our Game Boy, and we were
Yeah,
just aggressive with it. I do remember as well. My mom, and this is like a very this is such a nerdy thing. My mom, do you remember the like Scholastic book thing they used to pass out at school, and it was like a magazine of like Scholastic, and there would be books in there that you could buy or like
yeah,
other things associated with books.
yeah,
One of the ones was a little lamp that like came over the top of your book so you could read at night. But
yeah.
my problem was I was getting enthralled in these books. It's 4 in the morning and I'm still just flipping
Just
pages.
going.
Like
Yeah, yeah.
just going nuts. And I'm reading Percy Jackson, Harry Potter, like just the ones that you can't put down. And I remember my mom took my book light and I was like, how could you? She's like, you need to go to bed. I was like, I want to read. I'm reading. I'm not doing drugs. Like and I remember being so upset. And I was like, just give me my lamp, please. So what I would do, which this I think this caused irrevocable damage to my eyes. I would go my younger brother Zeke. No. My younger brother Zeke had a lava lamp, but the lighting was awful, and I was up against this lava lamp, reading as
Every now and then you
close
like
as I could.
singe your hairs.
Brother, I was getting like pressure headaches. I was like, ugh, like trying to read under the light of a lava lamp, which it's inconsistent because, like, you know, like the thing goes up, and then when it's at max, you're like, oh, this is actually decent lighting, but then it like goes back to the little clubs, and you're like, frick, gosh, come on. It was so. I think it caused like the reason I wear glasses must be because of that. Similarly, I had a Game Boy without the backlight, and I was trying
Oh
to
yeah.
play under the light like Pokemon under the light of a lava lamp. The task level 1,000,000. That was impossible. You couldn't see what was going on. Oh, it was terrible. But
Yeah,
yeah,
like,
that
am I fighting like a Magikarp or a Gyarados right now? I have no idea. What's
big
going
difference,
on
by
here?
the way. Like it's
Big difference, yeah.
big difference. But yeah, there
Big.
that was I remember that crushing me as a kid. And my mom was like literally just trying to get me more sleep, and I was like, "Let me read, you monster!" How
That is so funny.
yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I was the same thing, but mine was my parents would leave the light on in the hallway, or they'd watch TV in the next room. So I had like the backlight from the TV, and mine was the Hunger Games books. I love those books. I'd like
Oh
reading them,
yeah.
like trying to read, and my parents would be like, "Go to bed!" Like they were watching Survivor. Like And halfway through, I'm like, "Oh, who's getting voted off the island tonight?"
Bro, you genuinely the ways I was hiding these books to like pull out of my bed, you'd think I was doing drugs. Like I was like from like under my mattress, I'm like looking around, like pulling out a thick book. I'm like, oh, my sweet book, I'm back to read. Like, you thought I was insane. The way it was the classic one. I don't know if my mom ever, she'll have to tell me afterwards if she ever discovered this. I would put it, I would, in my pillowcase. I would then open the actual pillow and stuff it in the pillow and then close the pillow so that I was sleeping on it. I'd be like, you can check. No books, no Game Boys around here. And then later at night, like a freaking psychopath, I'm pulling it out of my pillow like, like such a nuts thing I was doing. Why? I don't know why I was so into reading. I loved it.
Oh, I mean, reading's a great thing. It's you find a good
Yeah.
book, it's hard to put down. I get it.
There's worse habits, but anyway, next one here.
Yeah,
Uh,
drugs, for example. Yeah,
Correct. That I could be
alcoholism
online. I could be online gambling at a young age. Who knows?
or regular in person gambling. Yeah, you're right.
Correct. Yes, I could be a loan shark. Uh,
Yeah,
next one.
a woman of the night.
So they. Anyway, they destroyed my Xbox because I got bad grades.
Oh, what? Is it an
Yeah.
Xbox that the parents paid for? Because I think that does make a little bit of a difference.
So I think so, and I got some additional context to this. The parents brought them outside and made them break their Xbox with a hammer while they watched.
Oh man.
Nah, rough stuff.
You know, I can get being so fed up with it, Chuck, because like those video games are so hyper addictive. Bro, you remember when we would play Destiny until like 3 in the morning every night? Poor decisions.
Late
Yeah,
into the evening.
late,
My
late into
parents
the
didn't
evening.
care though if I was being quiet, like because we had an Xbox downstairs in our house, and
Yeah,
as long as you were being quiet, you weren't waking other people up. It was fine. Genuinely
yeah.
was fine. But this one, and I imagine this person was like probably like aggressively playing video games or getting really upset, or it was like you mentioned, they were really addicted, like they needed it. So
Yeah, I could see being fed up, but like to make them destroy the Xbox, I don't think that's the right thing to do. Here's what I would do is I would go to like my local pawn shop and be like, listen, I need a broken Xbox 360 that looks like this. Like, great. Here's a broken one. Sell it to you for $20. Like, great. Sounds good. Make them break the broken one to
oh,
make them think. Yeah, make them think that they broke their own. And then eventually it's, after 6 months, like, hey, we see that you've improved greatly. Here's your Xbox back.
that'd be pretty nice. Yeah, that actually no true damage happens. That's
Sure.
I like that. That's a good idea. But I do think, and maybe you'll have a different opinion of me on this. I do think being punished for having bad grades, if it's just 100% your fault, is a good thing to do
It's valid. Yeah.
because it makes if you're going to go to college, it makes literally all the difference in your
Truly.
scholarship, what schools you can get into. Like it really does make a big difference. So putting emphasis on like, hey, if you get good grades, like we'll let you have other things. I think that's just fine.
Yeah, especially like in my case, and like my little brother, uh, we would get bad grades not because we weren't smart. Like we do very well on our tests and quizzes and stuff. It's just because we just didn't want to do homework, and so we just take zeros.
Yeah, which is, maybe they could have encouraged you a little bit more like just do something. Like
Or
just give it a
I'm
try.
just so anti homework, Like I just don't feel like homework is a very good idea, and especially when you're giving it to these kids who anywhere from 12 to 18 years old. I just don't feel like they make that a priority at all ever.
Yeah, I don't know. I do think it helps a lot to get the repetition, but I do think that there needs to be maybe like some better practices or just like additional styles of classes that they could teach. Like hands-on learning, at least for me, is like my favorite thing to do. Like if I can see you do something and then try to replicate it, and then also we are applying that to like a situation where I can move and do something, we're going to be more likely to remember it rather than like you just need to memorize these 400 things for this test. I do think that puts a lot more strain on someone. So yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. But again, I still am of the opinion like if you're getting bad grades and you receive a punishment, I think that is okay. Just don't make it
Yeah.
so extreme, you know?
Yeah, don't like, hey, cancel your friends for a year. Also, get to
Yeah.
running. I'm gonna hit you with my car for a little bit.
Yeah, those are aggressive. Okay, next one. They and I don't. This one I do not know what they did specifically, but they sent me to a summer camp in New York for the entirety of the summer. I am from California. They just sent it away.
Oh, was it at least like a fun summer camp?
Didn't say. From them putting this message in, I'm of the opinion it couldn't have been that great. It
Yeah,
must have been a bad experience.
like you spent like I feel like socially that sets you up for failure because you have your friends in school and you're like, hey, dude, this summer let's hang out all the time. Let's
Oh,
hang out a couple times a week, and you go and you like in your case you go and play basketball. Like you take that away from a kid. That's hard, especially in their high school or middle school because the other kids start to say, well, you weren't around for 3 4 months, and we've kind of changed our friend group a little bit, and you could get ostracized a little bit. I think that's again, unless I would do that for my child if the friends that they were keeping were leading them down a path of self-destruction. I totally would. I'd be like, you know what? I could see the writing on the wall. You are going to end up addicted to heroin when you're 19 years old. We got to do something about this. I can understand that, but
yeah.
it doesn't seem like it was the case. Do you have the context on this? It doesn't.
No, I didn't get a ton of context on this one. What I totally agree with you though. I really fondly remember a lot of the summers as like a kid in like junior high and high school, just hanging with friends. Like I can't tell you how many times in the summer my buddy Chance and I would drive down to Shelby and go to what was that breakfast restaurant that was attached to the gas station?
The time, the skillet. Rest in peace.
Oh, the country
Yeah,
skillet, bro. We would
yeah.
go to the skillet, and we went so many times. The guy would just pull up, and be like, "The usual boys," would be like, "The usual, the usual," and it was just great. And we were just like, we would get big groups together and go out and have tons of fun. Missing a full summer where just you were gone, and you're thinking to yourself, like, my friends are having the most fun right now. All of my
Yeah.
friends, that would crush me. I would hate that.
Yeah, that's horrible. Yeah, and again, in addition to like, what if they're like, hey, we're having plenty of fun without Tim here. Things would be a little awkward when you get back. That's
Impossible.
it's plenty of fun without you all the time.
Right. Well, we'll do the next one here. Okay. So this person, and they did something wrong in school was the only context that I got. They had done something wrong in school. So they actually their parents made them call their parents' friends and apologize for embarrassing the parents. And they had to call all of their parents' friends and one by one apologize to them as they go.
So say, hey, I'm sorry for my actions. Please don't have that reflect poorly on my parents.
So I imagine it went
Like,
something like you call your parents' friend, you call and say, "Hey, this is Tim calling. I did something wrong in school. I just wanted to apologize to you for being an embarrassment." And then you had to do that repeatedly across all of your parents' friends, uh, to whatever they said, whatever ends they wanted.
that's some of the most insane narcissism I've ever heard about
That's
in my entire life. Are you kidding?
crazy.
Dude, like you're telling me because your kid did something embarrassing, hey, you need to apologize because it makes us look bad. Are you effing kidding me?
Yeah, dog.
That is
They,
insane behavior.
I this must be
As a
um
parent, I think you just take it on the chin. Like, yeah, you did something stupid. It makes us look bad. Kids are going to be stupid. You just take it on the chin, I think. Sorry, go ahead.
it's very Beverly Hills to me. Like we're a rich family. You've made us look bad. We didn't grow up with a ton of money. It's not like we're at our summer house or lake house or something like that, and you got all these rich people around. Like no, like that would be the. I also think this would really shake. Like I would be so nervous calling everybody every single time. Be like,
Yeah.
why? Like, this is why are you calling me? Like, I'm apologizing, especially if they were like, oh, like, what is this? Like, what are you doing? Like, I feel like that
Like,
would be even more awkward. Like, that's so weird.
that's what I'm saying. Exactly. I was just going to say, what would you do if you received a phone call like that? You're like, hey, I'm sorry, I'm embarrassed. How do you react to that?
I think I'd just be so like, what? Like, am I being pranked right now? Like, what the heck's going on? Like that's just that I've never heard of behavior like this. Like,
Ever.
I've never heard this. Can you imagine too if like the phone call starts like and the parent calls first, call their friend like, "Hey, I'm sure you heard about what happened. I'm gonna put Tim on the line so he can apologize to you." And the friend's like, "Yeah, I've been waiting for this." Like, what?
It's about time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. He embarrassed you guys. Let's hear how good this apology is. Can you imagine too if one of the parents' friends was like, "No, that wasn't good enough. Try again." Oh, oh.
You couldn't say that to me. There's no way.
Yeah, yeah. You're about to see a real embarrassing thing, right?
I
Right. If
feel
that
like
happens, like that's
I feel like
crazy.
if it were to happen to me today, like right after this, we film podcast, right, and somebody were to do that, I'd probably be like, "Are you okay? Well, like, do you need someone
Yeah.
to talk
Do
to you
do
right
we
now?
need
Like,
to
what
call
is going on?"
CPS? Like that's
Genuinely, like,
crazy.
what is going on? Oh, you're not an embarrassment. Yeah, you made a mistake. Who cares? You'll be fine. To be encouraging, I don't. Weird. That's really strange.
Yeah, like I said, because I just have never heard of behavior like this. This must be like a rich person type of situation. Like to and how many people was it? Like, what number is crazy? This is already crazy in general, but like, say you had to call 10 people. Is that just nuts? Like,
I think anything over one, like it maybe one, be like, hey, I'm sorry that this. Maybe you clear up with one family. Anything over one, that's insane. Like maybe this is a cultural thing. Do you know the person who said this or?
no, well, they're white, but like, I
I
don't
just
know.
said I have no idea. Like maybe it's a cultural thing that we don't understand in the United States, but if it's the United States,
No,
I
they're
have
not
no idea. That's
foreign.
crazy.
They're not foreign. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe their parents are foreign and I just don't know. But uh, and that's like, yeah, it could be like maybe they do this in Europe or whatever. But I don't know, man.
Thinking
This
more
one,
like Asia, perhaps. Like I
maybe
can
I don't
imagine
know.
maybe that in Japan because people are very apologetic when they make mistakes
The
over there.
respect type of culture,
The respect,
and
yeah.
maybe that is something they do. It's just not something that I'm familiar with. This would be true. Can you imagine being berated by another parent after you call them, and your parents are in agreement with the other party as well? They're like, "Yeah,
Oh,
give it to him.
there's no
Like they need to
no
hear
way.
this." Oh my gosh, I can't. I can't. Should we role play? Should we role play this situation? Would you
I
like
just
to be? Would you like to be the caller, or do you want to be the person that berates me?
I want to berate you. Give it to
Yeah,
me.
I knew I knew that would be your preferred. Okay, so I'm gonna call. Let's say, what do I do? Let's say because they said they did something wrong at school. Let let's say I stole like a bunch of candy from the vending machine or something like that. Is what I
Okay.
did that was wrong. So
All right.
I'm a thief. Okay,
Okay.
okay. I'm caught. Okay. Uh, hey hey Mr. Asper, it's Tim.
I've been waiting for this phone call.
Yeah, I know. I'm calling today. I'm really sorry. I know that I embarrassed my family and
What
I'm
did you do to embarrass them? I need you to let me know that what you did was bad. What did you do
yeah,
specifically?
I know and I stole that candy and I feel bad. I shouldn't have done that. That was my fault. And I'm really sorry and this won't happen again.
Okay. This is very clearly a rehearsed apology. I need you to come up with something original and really make me feel like you're apologizing. Because
Um
honestly, you're not trying hard enough and it shows.
well,
Hang
Miss
on. Let me get my wife in here because she's been deeply affected by this too.
okay, I'll give you some time to bring your wife in.
She
Okay, she's
comes
in.
in. Okay, you're on speakerphone. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Hey, Mrs. Asper as well. How are you? I
Skip the
I
pleasantries and please continue on what you're going to say.
right, I am trying. I'm really sorry to the both of you. I know that I'm an embarrassment. I know that what I did was hard to forgive, even. Uh, ev- uh, and if you look down upon me from here on out, would understand. I'm a thief. It's just who I am. And it's the mistake that I made. And I truly am sorry. I get again, this will not happen again. I understand that what I did was wrong.
Once a thief, always a thief. You people make me sick. You tell
Well,
your parents that when they're ready to apologize as well, they can give us a call
well,
because your
Mr.
actions
Asper,
are.
to
Go
be
ahead.
fair, have you ever done anything wrong?
No.
But please, sir, this is like I
Click.
want. Oh no! And your parents are like, call it back.
Run it back. Run it back.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that's what I imagined would get like that. That's an insane thing to
What are
get.
you supposed to do? I just don't know. Like, and can you imagine? Like that would be my worst fear. Is they were like, they call your parents afterwards, like on their cell phone, and they're like, "Tell that punk kid of yours when he's ready to give me a real apology, he can try again." Like he's up, and they're like, "So we'll get back to him. You're gonna have to loop it back around. We'll call the next person now." And you're like, "Oh, golly," like you're just
That's
struggling. Like,
insane.
I just
That's
yeah,
insane.
that's oh my gosh, that's the last one I had. Is that the worst one? What's worse, being chased by the car or that?
I think the worst of all is taking the year away from your child's life. I think that's overall the worst.
Yeah, that one was rough. I I guess
Second place
I
has got to be
feel
that
like
one.
that one wasn't as bad because you could no, it was so bad. I feel, and it was a girl, by the way, that who had taken the phone was taken away. They couldn't make new friends that I know of. You know them as well, actually. I'll
I
tell,
have an idea. I have an
yeah,
idea of who it is, and we'll talk
yeah.
afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you who it is afterwards. But yeah, that was rough. But yeah, man. Anyway, that was all I had for the response this week. Again, y'all, thank you again for participating, sending those responses. It always makes it so
Again,
fun.
happy Mother's Day.
Sorry, yeah, happy Mother's Day, but sorry, you guys had some of those punishments. Do you have one, by the way? Did you have like a worst punishment that you ever got?
No, just the one I talked about there with the moving dirt. That was pretty much it. That was the
Yeah.
extent of the worst punishment. Like trying to think, like I got grounded. All pretty basic stuff that you'd expect. Like I got my phone taken away at some points. I had like couldn't go with video games, couldn't go out with my friends. Just all the basic normal stuff. Not like well, there was the one
Yeah.
time where my dad shot me twice. Like no, there's nothing crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
I had pretty normal childhood, I guess.
Yeah, I think true, like at least for me, the worst thing that my parents did was like, okay, you can't go play basketball, and it was like, or taking away my reading light, like one of the two. I was like, no, like how could you do this? I can't go exercise and I can't read. Like it's like just
That's crazy.
yeah, I don't know, like I really didn't, and the thing that would get me into trouble, and I don't know if you had the same thing. The thing that got me in the most trouble myself with my parents was talking back. I I'm a
I couldn't let it lie.
serial. Yeah, no, I am serial. Like, but again, let me say, and they're like, "Shut up!" Like you're already in trouble. And I was like, "Fair, fair." But if you wouldn't mind, like, like they just don't want to hear it, you know. Like
Did
that
you
was,
consider?
yeah, that was my thing. I had a buddy in college who his dad was a lawyer, and he did something that I actually am. I'm thinking like maybe I want to implement this in my own life. But what he would do is when his kids would make mistakes, he would say, "You have 1 hour. You're going to go write up your opening statement and you're going to come and present it to me." And then he would treat it like a court case to them. And they would have to present like their case, like what they did wrong, why they thought their punishment should be X, like what they would do. And they would just like deliberate. And then he would be the final decider on the punishment, but it would give them a chance. And he actually said he kind of appreciated this from his dad, but it gave him a chance to like reflect, and they were like typing out what like was wrong, and then they would come and present it to him and like reflect, and he'd be like, okay, okay. He's like, now I'm gonna make this argument here, and now you're gonna go back. I'm gonna give you another chance to come and bring me something else because I think you're in the wrong here. I'm gonna give you another chance. And like it was like closing statements, opening statements. Like he would treat it like a court case for these kids making decisions. I was like, I think that actually would probably be pretty effective. Like
Like,
in
do I
general.
really want to die on this hill, or do I want to debate it out? Because, like,
Yeah.
I don't want to
Do I
go
want to
through all
take a
the
plea
effort if
deal?
I
Do I
think
want to take a plea deal, essentially? Or, like, or do I want to like say like, no, I'm not guilty. I need you to believe me. He's like, all right, well, you got to make your case then. Like, I was like, that is effective in my opinion. That's a good way to do it.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe, I think it'd be sweet to have kids where I could do
Yeah.
that. I just have no idea. Again, no teenagers, nothing around here.
Right. I think
Just toddlers.
when we do have some teenagers, we'll see kind of like what's going on. We might just be too fed up by that point, you know? Like, you just never know.
Yeah, we thought that grounding them for a year was bad. Bake it 2 years. F it. Yeah,
Shoot. Desert Island, who
yeah,
knows? But,
yeah. Yeah.
but sweet, dude. All right, y'all. That is our Mother's Day special episode this week. I hope you guys appreciated that game. Again, thank you, Elise, for putting that together. Thank you to our moms and to our wives for participating in that. It was a ton of fun. Like, follow, subscribe to the pod. For those that watch on YouTube, you're going to be able to see that full presentation and the responses and such for our audio only listeners, come check it out on YouTube if you want to see the answers real time as we were kind of going through
Yeah,
them.
and while you're over there, just go ahead and hit subscribe. It means a lot to us. Really, we're trying to get this podcast up off the ground. We feel like this thing's got wheels. We really enjoy doing it. It's a lot of fun, and every little subscribe really helps.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, I think we're gonna charge the episode there. Fun week this week. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Us and anything else, brother.
Nope, that's it. Happy Mother's Day.
Peace, y'all.